We never hear the choir anymore. We had it all. So, let me speak to that, Mike, and then you and I can get into this together. First of all, if you're a person that's not a regular attender there are some statements in that question that you may not understand. So here's the deal. At Eden Church, we have 3 worship services. A traditional service at 8, 2 contemporary services, 9:15 and 10:30. And so in the traditional service, we have a choir. It's called the chancel choir. And they sing from up there in the choir loft. And then we have, in this service, a choir that's called the praise choir. And they sing usually up here on the steps before you.
Sang last Sunday, didn't they?
Yeah, they sang last Sunday, that's right. So, normally the choirs take a break during the summer. So, in all fairness to the question that was submitted, the choirs weren't a regular part of our summer program, but they've not been historically in the life of the church. So, the person may have just been wondering, hey, it's been through the summer, I haven't seen the choir, and what does that mean? When the choirs have resumed, the chancel choir sang today at 8 o'clock, and like you said, the praise choir sang here last Sunday. So, just that way you all understand some of the logistics. But the question seems to be more than just what's the choir schedule. It has to do, I think, with concern about the transition that took place or has taken place here at Eden Church in our music ministry. And for those of you that don't know, we've been in a transition period here at Eden Church. We had a staff change at the first of the year. Emily departed our staff, and Jake came on board, and he's a senior at Greenville College seeking his degree in music and worship arts. And so Jake has taken over a new position of leadership, and things have been changing as they always do in times of transition. Now, some people celebrate the change, and others don't like the change. In fact, one person said at the end of the 8 o'clock service, I have a lot of friends that they don't like change. I said, you and everybody else, there are people around us that change is kind of hard. So, what are some of the changes that have happened here? One I would like to clear the air about is that we have a greater number of volunteer musicians in the band than we had 9 months ago, a year ago. We used to be all volunteers, and we got to a place where we were paying musicians to play for us every Sunday outside of paying Bill as an accompanist. And so one of the things that's changed, we have a lot of new faces up here, and I think maybe some of you may not realize who they are. In fact, I had a conversation with some folks a few weeks back, and they thought everybody up here were Greenville students that Jake knew from class and he would bring in to play. And that's true, there are...
We're always outside people doing here.
Yeah. So it's true that there are 2 Greenville people here today. Jake's sister, Kaylee, girlfriend Kaylee, and sister Alyssa, and they are helping out with the music ministry some. But the vast majority of the people that you see up here are new volunteers to the music ministry.
From Eden Church.
From Eden Church. So we're like Mitch McSparrow. Is he in here? He was playing the drums today, right?
He went to Sunday school.
He's in Sunday school now. Okay, so here's a middle school kid that's learned that Jake's been working with, and he's now picked up the drums and is providing music here.
He sits there and grins all the time he's playing.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to clear the air on that in case some of you are thinking that the folks that here are not Eden people. They are. They're part of, most of them, the vast majority of them are Eden people that have kind of stepped up and worked with Jake and developed their volunteer musical ministry here. So, but like I said, in the transition, there has been a departure of some of our participants. People that, for one reason or another, were in the choirs or were sang or were participated, and they haven't, or they aren't currently doing it now. And so that's something that we noticed, and we miss folks that have been regular contributors to the life of our music ministry. But there's also been the arrival of new participants. So new faces are in the choir, new people are singing. I'm the new face of the chancel choir. That's because one of the other changes that's happened is the practice schedules have changed. And so I'm able on Wednesday nights at 6 to join that choir for practice and then sing with them. At least they're letting me sing with them for a while here on Sunday morning. So
after they've heard you, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. When the door's locked and the lights are off in the choir room, then I know that I'm not welcome anymore. So But anyway, so there are changes. There's new faces, there's new volunteers. Some of the folks that used to be involved aren't anymore. There's changes at the 8 o'clock service, and you folks don't attend there, but let me tell you about it. I've had people ask me, why does Jake stand at the podium and lead the hymn sing? And I put him up to that because I want you to sing. Singing is not about just the choir singing or just the soloist singing. It's about all of us singing. And I have to tell you, if you're not very confident as a singer, and you stand next to a person that can sing well, you sing better. And I will tell you, I sing better because of Carlin Klopmeyer in the Chancellor Choir. He's a good bass. You can put me next to him, and I actually sound like I know what I'm doing. So I understand that. So we have Jake stand up here and sing into the microphone, because if you're standing around people that aren't singing loud, you're going, how great thou art. Because you don't want to sing loud in case you mess up. And if you have a strong voice singing through the microphone, it gives you some confidence. So that's one of the things that we are doing change-wise.
You know, John, that raised a good observation, I think, is that what is the choir? You know, if we think about the choir as being up here, and the audience being out here, then we may have kind of missed the point of worship. Really, the choir is not only the people up here who are leading, but it's the whole congregation. We are a choir of praise, offering our praise to God. So God is our audience. And that's really what the singing is about.
Correct. That's true. That we want to be God-oriented in our focus and all of our participation in worship. So, anyway, Jake is working with the handbells, the Chancellor Choir, the Praise Choir. Kaylee Sherman, his girlfriend, is volunteering to help with the kids' choir. And so they've been trying to bring about some changes to get more involved in music ministry. Like this summer they had different music camps that for people to try out handbells, to try out choirs, those kind of things. So it's an attempt to build into our existing program and to start some new ones, maybe with some of our young people, get them playing guitars and drums and getting them involved in the future of our music ministry at Eden Church. So part of that change too, Mike, is not just the change in people, it's also that change in some of the music that we sing. So we sing some of the stuff we're familiar with that Jake has brought into our contemporary services, especially some new songs, like the offertory was a new Chris Tomlin song that we've just started to be exposed to here in the life of the church. So there is some of the things that we used to do, and then there's some of the new things that were part of this transition period.
More change.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate this question because what it really says is here's someone who really cares about music. And I think that's built into us. God gave us music and song as one of the ways of praising Him. If you look at Scripture, there's several references in the New Testament to singing hymns to God. Paul and Silas did it in prison and brought about conversion of people. In Romans, it says, I will sing praises to your name. In Colossians, as you sing, it says, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom, and as you sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with gratitude in your hearts to God. And that same phrase of psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs is also repeated in Ephesians. It says, sing and make music in your heart to the Lord. And so that's a really important part of what we do. And there are various styles of music that appeal to different people. I love the bluegrass kind of sounding song we did last Sunday. And
that's because you're from Kentucky.
Well, hey, y'all. And, you know, kind of something that makes us feel like moving our feet a little bit, dancing a little bit this morning. You know, a lot of variety, and I love that here at Eden Church.
Yeah. So I think behind the question is just the reality that transition is hard.
Yes.
And it's just how